Hey, moviegoers, welcome back to another episode of KDM. By now, you should know that KDM is not just the code for your digital projectors to play movies at theaters near you. No! In this instance, the K stands for my great friend and colleague, Kit Bowen. Hi, Kit.
Hi, and the D stands for
Dummy.
Dimitri,
Oh, Dimitri. Yes,
or
Dimitri.
D as I like to call him.
D, and the M stands for movies, which is something that Kit and I have loved talking about pretty much since we were little Rugrats. And now that we're big Rugrats, we still enjoy talking movies, and we know that you tune in because you love talking about movies too. So thank you very much. I have to shameless plug here for KDM. Please click subscribe to the channel, get your notifications, and share it on your socials. We put our stuff out. Share it on your socials if you don't mind. And today, because when we do these podcasts, the devil is in the details, and sometimes the devil's in a handbag, and sometimes that devil wears Prada twice. And that is what we're talking about today, folks. The
Yes,
Devil
yes,
Wears
yes, yes.
Prada 2. What? It's been 20 years?
I think they said
About
26.
26?
2006. No, 20 years. Yeah, 20 years.
20 years. It's a long time for a sequel to come out, and sometimes they don't always work from a box office perspective. But I think Devil Wears Prada has stayed in the pop culture zeitgeist,
Yeah.
and through video and cable, Blu-ray, blah, blah, blah. So they warranted a two. And that's what we're here to talk about. You saw, we both saw this movie at preview night, albeit we didn't see it together, which was a bummer for me. We still saw it. Kit, what did you think of The Devil Wears Prada 2?
It was okay. It was fine. I said it's like wearing a an old comfortable pair of Chanel boots all over again. Um, you know, it uh it definitely furthers the story along, so you get to see what everyone ended up doing. Andy Sachs, Anne Hathaway's character, she is becomes a noted journalist, winning several prizes for her work and whatnot. But of course, the world of journalism, as we all know, is changing and diminishing by leaps and bounds. So it kind of starts off with that kind of message in the film is, let's keep journalism alive, that kind of stuff. But so she ends up, in the premise, she ends up losing a job, that she's working on a paper, and it folds, or she's laid off. So she inadvertently gets contacted by, the owner of Runway magazine, not what's her face, Miranda Priestley, but the owner, Ira something, whatever. And he offers her the features editor position because they just had a huge sort of uh scandal happen where Miranda's promoting some kind of company that ends up being like this really bad company or something really shoddy, whatever.
Sweatshops and
Yeah,
things
like
like
a
that.
sweatshop. Yeah, yeah. So they need some uh, uh,
Damage control.
damage control. Thank you. That's a very good word for it. Anyway, they bring
Thank you.
Andy in. And then we've got Stanley Tucci's character as well. He returns. He's still kind of, number two to Miranda, Nigel. And then also we get to see what happened to Emily, played by Emily Blunt. She ends up becoming, I guess, marketing or whatever for Dior, and they have Runway has to, um, they have to be beholden to their advertisers. Clearly, that's how you make money. And so they have to kind of kiss up to Emily at Dior to kind of smooth over this scandal that's happened. But the main thing was that Miranda, played by the wonderful Meryl Streep, who can just do anything, um, she has been sort of tampered down a bit in this version. She's clearly her personality and her toxic boss behavior has been you know, has to be tampered because of HR problems and this and that. At one point, it was that was funny. She goes, "Is Miranda hanging up her own coat?" And she's doing it like she's struggling with it and all this kind of stuff. And she goes, "Yeah, yeah, she's got a hand. I heard that she should just throw her coats at her assistants." And you know, a lot of nods to the original. But my so yeah, so everyone's back, and it was kind of comfortable to see everybody again. You know, I think personally for me, I don't feel it was necessary to make a sequel. I mean, I loved the first one, and I think the first one could have been a one and done, and I'd be all right with it. I wasn't obsessed with seeing more of it, you know. I mean, it's it's a it's kind of a fun, f film for fashion people because you have those montages of all the great outfits and all the great clothes, and you get that again in this one, albeit a different kind of situation. Instead of one person, you see four people. Um, and all that kind of stuff is fun to watch, and the characters are likable enough, except for, of course, Miranda. And it was okay. I just didn't think it was necessary. Wasn't I'm not sure what it is that people keep wanting this. Like, the other sequel that's coming out this year, which really isn't necessary, is Practical Magic 2. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But
Money, IP.
money,
I don't,
but what? I don't know. Practical Magic didn't make that much money. Devil Wears
I didn't
Prada
think so.
makes more sense only because it did become kind of a cult classic in many respects. So, um, yeah, again, they have some new characters. Justin Theroux, who looks kind of weird. I think he's had some work
They
done.
did.
Uh,
Maybe, or Ozempic.
he kind of
I
plays a
mean, who
tech.
knows?
He plays a tech doofus who kind of, has all this money that he doesn't know what to do with, kind of thing. And so he was kind of funny. Lucy Liu also makes an appearance as this tech good doofus's ex-wife who got a shit ton of
Uh-huh.
money from the divorce. And then who else was new? That was it, I guess. Those are the two newest ones, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else?
The boyfriend, or
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
the
and
love interest.
Branagh, who plays Miranda's husband, I guess. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh, and
never saw him
BJ
in the first
Novak
movie,
too.
did we?
No.
Yes.
No, no, because remember in the first movie she gets divorced. Her husband at the time divorces her, and she's like, when they're in Paris and she finds out he wants a divorce, and she's upset about it, and that's like the one time you see Miranda being vulnerable is, when she's trying to,
Right.
minimize the press on that and kind of thing. Anyway, so yeah, it was okay. It
Yeah,
was fine.
it was fine. Hey, I know that word. For me, straight up, I was never a big fan of the first movie. I had issues with it, and in complete transparency and honesty, the first movie was somewhat triggering, and not somewhat triggering. It was triggering to me. The Miranda character was not unlike some characters, that's what I would call them, that I had the displeasure of working for. And I found nothing funny about her behavior towards her employees. And I found it even worse to see what Andy Sachs was going through. And I didn't, I know that there was a romance in the first movie that didn't pan out well, and that bothered me too because Andy's boyfriend seemed to be a pretty decent guy, and he also validated like you're better than this. Like you
Yeah.
don't need to take this. And, he supported her through this tough times, but there's a battered wife thing going on where, you know, and I know for a fact because you always try to please that person who is doing that type of abuse. And I don't know. I didn't like it. It just bothered me. And going into the second movie, which again, it took a while. I was like, wow, are we ready for a sequel? And by all means, I was looking in the trades this morning, its previews, and it seems that it's going to do very well. The audience I saw this movie with applauded. I don't know, was it crowded when you saw
Yeah,
it,
it
when you
was pretty
watched it?
crowded.
It was crowded when I watched it too, and towards the end, people applauded, and I was like, "Geez, it's just been a weird year for movies that have had a questionable moral compass, and that people have been applauding, like kind of bad behavior." I don't know. It's there's a
But
character in
here's the
Devil
thing
Mars.
though.
Wait,
This isn't a new thing about bad bosses. There's been
no,
a
it's
lot of
not.
movies about those.
But they made it into it's done more for comedic effect. I mean, I don't know. The audience that I saw this with, they laugh at Miranda. They laugh at her because they find that what she does and says is funny, and I'm telling you, like that stuff isn't really funny when it happens to you. And again, this is also coming from women. Now, there's a character in this new movie, one of Andy's friends, who's a book publisher, and she's trying to urge Andy, you should write a book about this. You should write a book. It'll be huge. And she goes, I don't know if that's really the right thing to do, and whatever. And the character says a line. I'm gonna paraphrase because I couldn't find the exact quote, but it was something Stockholm. She goes, "Oh, the phone's ringing. It's Stockholm. They're wondering Syndrome is around." And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. And Andy goes right back into that world. And at the beginning of this movie, I actually thought that there was hope. There was going to be some hope happening because it appears as if in the 20 years, Andy has made something very positive for herself. She has become what appeared to be a very respectful journalist, and she had a seemingly very good team surrounding her. And her team, they were at an award show, and her team was winning awards, and she was about to get like award for
Well, she did
journalist
get
of the
it.
year, right? Yeah. And that's how this movie starts off, and I'm like going, good for this character, but of course things have to unravel. You mentioned it. And then the movie becomes like an indictment as to what is happening to modern day journalism. And I appreciated those aspects of it, but that message kind of gets lost in, it gets lost amid the abuse, the insults, and things. And I know you had mentioned human resources and such. So Miranda would hold meetings, and there would be a human resource person there trying to keep a
Well, it's
leash
her
on her and
assistant.
what she said. Yeah,
But
and,
she's
and
not
like
HR. She's her assistant, but she's keeping her in line.
trying to, yeah, she's trying to keep her from, you can't say that, you can't. She's like, oh, why not? And whatever. She was still a mean person,
Well,
even
you
when,
can't, you're not going to get
right,
rid of
no,
it completely. And
no, I understand, but
she's playing somebody that's for real. So this
no,
woman
I do
exists.
understand. But that's the thing. People like, like Anne Hathaway's character, they keep on thinking that she's going to change, and she's not. And even when she drops her guard down for a little bit, Miranda will even come back and say, "Oh, you think that we're going to be part? No, no, that's really not going to happen." And she also revels in the fact and tells Anne Hathaway's character, she's like, "I can't wait for you to fail. Like, you're going to fail
Here's the
at
thing.
trying to
Here's the
turn this
thing about
around."
But this is the thing about Andy this time around is that, and Emily's character, Emily, says it to her. She goes, "You have a lot more confidence now." So even when Miranda is, haranguing her about whatever it is, she knows she's good. And she
She
knows
knows
she
she's
can
good,
turn
but
and
she
she
gets
knows she can
put
turn it around, and she does.
she gets put she doesn't though, because she
Yes,
gets
she
put
does.
back into this, but she does it to
Well, she
save
turns
her
it around, meaning
skin.
she
Right.
gets
And
what the
and
success.
and it's all thrown, the onus is thrown back on Andy again. Like Miranda takes no responsibility for anything. Okay?
But that's the
She does
character.
nothing. That's, again, I understand that. That doesn't make the character, like, again, people laugh at this character, and people in real life, we see it every day. We see a person like demeaning women every day. And here we have a woman who's in high power, and I get it, and I can respect the fact that Miranda had worked her way into this position, but that's not an excuse for her behavior. But worse off, Andy still wants to please her, and
Yeah.
she goes out of her way to please her to get a crumb of appreciation.
So
Even Stanley Tucci says
all
that.
you're saying is just that you just don't like the character, and you don't like it, and you doesn't that makes the
It just
movie
got
not
worse
pleasant
in
for
this
you.
movie. Yeah, and it just made it worse, I think, in this movie. It's like you just got back into that, and then you start treating people badly. And obviously, from the beginning of the movie, that's not who she is. Like, again, I was like, wow, okay, I get it. And somebody needs to maybe put Miranda in her place. Like, that to me is a feel good movie. But if you're playing life, and I know Miranda's based off of, what's her name? Anna
Anna
Wintour?
Wintour. Yeah.
Yeah, Anna Wintour. I get it, but it's just I was just like, God, you're doing this again. You knew the hell that you went through. Stanley Tucci is always fun to see. The glamour, the glitz, the travel, it all looked great on the big screen. Uh, you know, I guess minor spoiler if you don't know already, Lady Gaga has a performance in this, and again, a delight to see all the fashion and everything. Just like in the first movie,
Yeah.
from a technical standpoint, this movie is put together very well, edited together very well. At least Andy does have one good friend who's a curator at a museum, and
She was in the first movie too, yeah.
yeah, but she was also someone who threw Andy a bone too. She tried to throw it a lifeline and say, "Hey, if things aren't working out," she goes, "I need a good copy editor.
Yeah, but that's
We
not what
need
Andy
this
wants
stuff."
to do.
But again, she didn't have anything else, and then she goes back to be abused. Again, I just have a hard time because the audience that I was watching this with was applauding, and they're like going, "Oh, I want to see
Because
the
they're having
mean."
fun, Dimitri.
Again,
You don't
but
like it, but most people do.
yeah, I get it. But those women who are clapping, they wouldn't appreciate if it was being done to them. And
Yeah,
we're
well, I
again,
mean,
we are
life
living.
doesn't
We are
always,
living.
it's
I get
just
it. I'm just saying, and like we're living in a world where there's a ton of negativity, and there really is a ton of bad behavior out there. And I'm not laughing. Yeah, I'm not laughing at the bad behavior that's happening. When a good person, like Andy, who did make something of herself outside of that. She didn't need Miranda's help for that. She appeared to have done it on her own. And, and I also was enjoying the message of journalism because you and I have seen this
Mhm.
as well. It's happened from, how many publications have gone under? Like, there's no really Entertainment Weekly. Do they still print that? I know it's digital. There was that other huge, great magazine. A lot of magazines have just gone away,
Yep.
maybe went to digital. And a lot of journalists, too, are being replaced by people that, the industry calls influencers. So there is a lot of that contrition happening, or contraction, I should say. And that to me, was a good story. It was even happening at Runway as well. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, Runway's, all is great. Miranda gets to keep her job. She gets to keep to be the person that she is. They got a new influx of money. They continue to go on. It's all hunky dory. It's so, I don't know. Again, yes, from a personal standpoint, it bothered me. Um, but yet it looked the same way. It was very nice. I actually thought to see Anne Hathaway again on the
Yeah,
big
you know
screen.
what? I've never been a huge fan, unfortunately.
Really,
I mean, I think she's good at some stuff, but there's some things about her that kind of bug me. But
yeah. I mean,
like I
I don't
said,
know.
not, the film itself is just like I said, it's kind of fun to be in that world for a second again, and I just don't think ultimately for me, I just don't think it was necessary to continue
Well,
that
I
story.
think after this weekend, they're going to be mulling a three.
I know.
And I believe I don't know,
That's fine.
there's at the
That's
very
fine.
least three books in the series, right?
Oh, I
I
don't know.
think. So, and look, the movie's going to do very well. I'm always I'm always of the belief, as you know, I'm a supporter of the movie going experience. Whatever gets butts and seats and helps infuse this industry with success, that's great. Like, I may not be the biggest fan of, say, Michael, but hey, if people went to go see it and it made $100 million, that's great. If this movie makes $80 million, people liking it, who am I to say? I'm just giving an opinion. It's great, and I think that this is going to do very well.
Yeah,
And
they're saying this is kicking off the summer basically, so and there's some good
yeah,
stuff coming up for sure.
and,
Well,
and
as
and I
far as
think
the
we're gonna have a
rating,
good summer movie. Well,
yeah.
you go first. I mean,
I'd give it a solid three.
a solid three. That is, yeah. I think I gave the first one a two, and I'm giving this one a one, because I just wasn't buying it. So, onwards and upwards. I think we're going to have a really good summer, and I want to take the naysayers down, who believe that the movie going experience is failing us. I think the people this year, I think it's rebounding in a way that it should, especially after the pandemic. So if people are gravitating to these movies, that's fine. Who am I to say? We're just here to give an opinion, and say whether we liked or loved, or disliked a movie. And we've got plenty of movies coming out this summer that I think could fall under that same category. Do we like,
Yep.
love, whatever? And I think it's going to be a great summer. And so far, I have to say, I think it's been a fun year. I think it's been a good year this year so
Hmm.
far.
Yeah.
No complaints. And it's given the audiences, we've had some originality. We've had good horror movies. We've had some comedies. Like, I think we're getting that variety is trying to find its way back.
Yeah.
And that's always a good thing. So
Absolutely.
I like Anne Hathaway. It was good to see her in the big screen again. And now I think she's got like five other projects coming out. So by
Yeah.
the end of the year, I could be sick of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
She's got some
who
stuff coming
knows?
up. So,
Oh
yep.
my God, yeah, good for
Yeah.
her. And
Yep.
Meryl Streep, what the hell? She just keeps going.
Yep.
She just
Yep.
keeps trucking, and she loves her craft.
She does.
And you have to appreciate what she has given to the business of movies and show business like this. So
Yep.
there is a kudos of respect to that. And Emily
Yes.
Blunt she's going to continue. She's going to be in the most anticipated movie, at least for me, the Steven Spielberg film, Disclosure
Yeah.
Day. Can't wait
Yep.
for that. So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so again, let us know what you think. If you liked the first Devil Wears Prada, what you thought of this one. Like, subscribe, like we said before, and share,
Please
and all
like and
that great
subscribe and
stuff.
share. Yeah, and did you
And
like
we'll
the
be
first movie?
back.
Yeah, we'll be back. I don't know. We have to look at a schedule,
Well, I know
but I saw some
Mandalorian Grogu movie's coming
Grogu.
in a couple of weeks, so we got that one for sure. But I think next week is Mortal Kombat 2, which I'm not entirely interested in seeing, but we'll see.
I am actually only interested in seeing it. We saw a brand new trailer for it that featured more of Carl Urban, who's on a high right now because The Boys' final season is on, and he looks like he's going to be funny. I didn't think I'd want to see the movie. I
Did
kind of
you see
want to
the
see the
first
movie now.
Mortal Kombat?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I did
And,
not.
you know, they're not, they are what they are, but this
Well,
movie
I've
looks
never
like it
played the
could be fun.
game or any of that stuff, so
But you
I
know
know.
somebody who's played the game, no? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We'll see. We'll see.
and I was gonna say, you mentioned Mandalorian and Grogu. This is a secret, but I'm gonna tell, it's just you and I in this chat. They released that on my birthday. That's like Disney's
Oh,
gift. Yeah, yeah. Bet you
yay.
didn't know that.
Oh, next week
Disney did
is.
that for me.
Oh, I know what we're going to talk about next week because I think we
What?
both wanted to see this. And I actually saw the trailer and I'm like, this looks funny and cute. The Sheep Detectives.
Oh, you know what? That does look cute.
Yeah.
I want to
I
see
will
the
go see
Sheep
that.
Detective.
I will go see that
Yes,
one. Let's do
I
that
will
one.
see that too. Let's try to see that together. That would be so
Oh,
fun. That
well,
would,
I got the ticket already in here in
oh, you
Burbank,
did.
so yeah.
In Burbank. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't be bad to do together. Did you see what I did there?
Yes, I think
Did you hear
the
that?
trailer. Yes, I heard you.
Okay. I cracked myself up.
I know, but it does look cute. It does look cute. So
It
might
does.
be fun, like in a babe cute, fun way.
It
So
does.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, okay, guys. Well,
So
thanks for
that'll be
joining
fun.
us. Yeah, Dimitri, thanks again for everything. And yeah,
Thank you, Kit.
we will
Thank you
be
for being
back.
you. And
We'll,
everybody, when you go into the comment, thank Kit for being Kit. It's very important that you do that. Please do. All
all
right.
right, take
Thanks,
care,
everybody.
everybody.
Go to the movies.
Bye.
Bye.